Hello ladies and gentlemen from Year 9, my favourite Year 9 art class. My name is Mr. Cheney. I am here to help you get started with your Photoshop task. Okay, so this is a reference, this is a go-to point if at any stage you are stuck or you start getting set up or you want to know how to just get started on Photoshop. This video I've uploaded to the internet, so you can look at it, whether you're at home or you're in class or you're in a study group or something like that. You can use this as a reference. Guess what? If you don't like it, there are hundreds of other videos and video tutorials that you can look at online. Just go to YouTube or go to Google and type in Photoshop tutorials or animal combination or hybrid animals. You will find blogs and all sorts of experts that have uploaded their work so you can learn how to do these skills. Okay, it is very easy, and you can see I have one here right in front of us that I did a little bit earlier. I've done that very roughly. What I want you guys to do and what you will be able to do once you master these skills is something a lot more developed. This one here is just a quick rough one to get us started. So what we're going to do is just start off with Photoshop. At this point, what you will have done is sourced some images. It's really important that you've already created a folder that says Year 9 Art, and in there you've got labeled images that are clear and that aren't blurry, really clear images that you can work from with animals that are unobstructed, that are out in the open, that are good to work from. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I've already got my images saved. I'm going to go to File, Open. So if you've never used Photoshop before, if you want to open up an image in Photoshop, you just go File, Open. And then in here, my Year 9 Photoshop folder, I've got a couple of different pictures. I'm going to choose Orangutan 3. Okay, and you can see here I've got this image. And it's of an orangutan swinging. She's got the baby hanging on for dear life. Okay, now one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to have a look over here. Now this here, you can see it says layers. We've got a whole list of layers here. At the moment, we've only got one, and it's locked. When it's locked, it means we can't work on it. So to unlock it, you just click on the padlock. Okay, that's simple. And we want to just label them so we know what each layer means. Because when I was an architect, we'd have about 400 different layers in our Photoshop projects. Okay, and when you're using layers, the more layers you have, the more control you have over the image. Okay, so a layer is just like a workspace. Okay, you can lock that workspace, you can open that workspace, you can create different workspaces. Okay, just to try and illustrate this point, because if you don't understand Photoshop, that probably all went over your head. So I just want to illustrate this point. Speaking of animals, this is a self-portrait I did. Okay, this is for a Year 10 media project. So guess what? If any of you guys out there managed to graduate this year from Year 9 and go on to Year 10 and Year 10 media in particular, you might have to use Photoshop again. Okay, and this was a task where we had to trace a photo and create a self-portrait. Okay, and you can see here, this is all the different layers I've created. Okay, like I said, the more layers I have, the more control. So if I want to know what I look like clean shaven, I can turn a layer on and off. So I've just done that with beard. Or if I want to know what I look like with, this one with no skin, or but with no hair, there you go, there's me as a baldy. So you can see that using layers, you can have a bit more control. If I want to put a special effect to just one layer, I can do that. So you can see I've got background highlighted here. I'm going to make it more opaque or more transparent. There you go, you can do that, and it only affects the layer you're working on. Okay, so that's a really important thing to remember. What you're working on, that layer has to be highlighted. If you want to protect that layer, so if you've done something really good and you don't want to ruin that layer, lock it. Okay, that means you can't harm anything saved on that layer. Okay, so I know I've gone through layers really quickly, but I hope that explains or introduces the idea of layers, so that when we go back to our orangutan project, one of the first things we're going to do is create some more layers to work on. Okay, now there's a few different ways of doing that. One, you just go down here, press that, create new layer. Okay, now to create this hybrid animal, I'm going to combine an orangutan and a pelican. Okay, sounds exciting. So the first thing I want to do is select the orangutan. So that means I want to cut the orangutan out from that background. Okay, there's a few different options. We've got two tools here. One is the magic wand. The other one's the lasso tool. Okay, I need to make sure I've got the background highlighted here because that image is the background. That's the image that I'm working on. Okay, so I'll show you what the magic wand tool does. The magic wand selects everything in with the same tone or the same color. Okay, so you can see how much that's already worked out. Now if I hit it again, it only selects that part. Okay, does that make sense? If I want to add to that selected part, I hold down Shift, and you can see that there's a plus symbol just below the magic wand. Okay, and then I add to it. Now that didn't work out because remember how I said it just gets anything with the same tone? It's grabbed quite a bit of background greenery that we don't want. So we'll try again. Okay, so I'm just holding down plus and I'm adding. Now again, it's taken this part here, which we don't want, this part of the tree. So if I want to get rid of that, I'm actually going to use the lasso tool. I'm going to hold down Alt or Option, depends if you're using a Mac or a PC. And you see a little subtraction element comes up, symbol comes up. And it's just a matter of cutting around what you don't want highlighted. Okay, now I'm doing this very roughly because I don't want to create a 20-minute video here. I just want a really quick reference. The lasso tool, hence the name, you are lassoing the areas that you want. So I'm holding down Shift because I want to add to what the magic wand selected. And I'm just very quickly going around the shape of this orangutan. Now you're going to have to do this a lot slower, a lot more carefully. You might have to zoom in on the animal because you need to be really accurate to get a really good mark. Okay, and for it to look good and to look realistic, or to look as realistic as possible, you have to really zoom in and make sure you can see all this stuff that I've left out or I've included by accident. Okay, you need to make sure that you're selecting the animal as best as possible. Okay, now I can right click and I can go layer via copy. Okay, I want to create a new layer that's just that selection. The other option, if I don't want to use that shortcut, is I can go layer up the top here, layer new, layer via copy. And you can see here I've got layer 2 comes up and it's just the orangutan that I've been working from. Okay, and you can see I can move that. All right, I can turn off the background and I've just got that layer. All right, now I've cut that out rather quickly. Now I want to paste that orangutan onto a new background. So I've saved a jungle image that I've already sourced. I'm going to open that up. I'm going to get my orangutan. I'm going to grab the layer that is orangutan. And I know that because and you can see I'm dragging this. I want to drag it into the new project, which is jungle. Okay? And you just drag it over there. And you can see, this is the one I was working on earlier, that I've now got, if I work on this, I've now got this orangutan. Now I did the exact same process with a pelican. Okay? And I've got that pelican there. And that's my hybrid. Okay, now that's a really quick and cheap, easy way of doing it. You need to do it in a lot more detail. You can just see here, if I call my layers correctly, pelican and orangutan, and I can do that just by double clicking on the word. It gives me that option to rename it. If I move them around, Photoshop will layer them. Hence they're called layers, but it will layer them. So you know which one to work with. But I want the orangutan on top of the pelican. You can see that effect that's having there. So you're going to have to position. So think carefully. So grab this tool here, apply the transformation, yes. Grab this tool here, that allows you to move the objects, okay? Also with this, I've got the option of making it bigger or making it smaller, you know, up to you how big you want your animals to be or how you want this hybrid combination to work. Okay, so it is a little bit more complex than Microsoft Word or Paint or other programs you may have used in the past, but once you learn what each of these tools here are used for, then you should be able to unlock some of these skills and start using them. Okay, so if you've got any questions, please come and ask me. More than happy to spend time with you guys to develop these skills, okay? But this reference is going to be uploaded on the internet. Like I said, Google Photoshop tutorials if you want to learn skills from other people or other experts far more masterful than I am at this. But use this as a reference, okay? Your final piece is going to look a lot better than this. I've done this really quickly, but you can just see in 10 minutes what we've achieved. So good luck.